saying President Ruto. Take that out of your vocabulary. That person, if you want to address him, if you want to be respectful, you can say Mr. Ruto. If you want to call her you want to call him with his real names, call him with Ruto, Ruto, Animal Ruto, Fisi Ruto, ama haina Ruto, something of that nature. Lakini usijaribu kutuambia President Ruto hapa. The person who gets the majority vote does never becomes the president. The minority vote never becomes the president. Now, I'm done with Kenyan with love. The next person that I wanted to address is Wakanda Forever. Wakanda Forever, we don't have two options. We only have one option. The person who wins the presidency, of all the indications have shown, as IBC have not said that the numbers that they have been presented with, they are wrong, as the current occupier of the office has not rejected those numbers. So we know that that's the person who won. So we have only one option to take the winner. And I'm going to tell you the winner in a second. Raila Amolo Odinga, seconded by Mother Karua, to the office. We don't have the opposition, the position that you are trying to talk about here being created by the AG of the opposition. That is talk for another day. Once we get Amolo Odinga to the office, and I wanted to make it very clear to you, Mr. Wakanda. It's gonna reach a point. It's not a question of whether the winner, Raila Amolo Odinga, wants or he doesn't want. We will take him there. You win, we give you the sword. I just wanted to make those points. I have got more points, but I wanted just to make those two clear so that you can hear from the other people.
Point taken, kabisa, kabisa. Mato, you want to rebut, but I thought it was just a correction. Okay, Mato, I mean, Kenyan with love.
My friend, Outnager, I don't know what you heard from me, but I doubt if in this forum I've ever called Ruto a president.
I heard you say you said by mistake. I was listening to you. Both of my ears were listening to you. Sema ilitoka kimakosa, we will forgive you.
Okay, sir, basi ilitoka kimakosa. Mimi I've never done that. I don't think kama ilitoka hata mimi naenda kutubu. Saizi naenda kutubu saizi. I've never done that. Anyone that knows me knows that has never happened.
Okay, you should first of all lazima kwanza utubu in this forum, alafu uende utubu somewhere in privately.
Aya, sawa, natubu. Unajua Father Darius ako huko. Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. Ai, Ruto atoke wapi na ati president wa nani?
You said that, listening to you, and I was very wacha niseme the word, I was very pissed off when you said that, because that's not like you. I know you very well.
Hiyo basi sijui, maybe nilitegwa na kitu ama nilimeza mate vibaya. Sorry.
Hiyo tumemaliza. Na just in case mtu mwingine anataka kutumia hiyo jina, please utuondokee hapa.
Mato, can I say something?
Guys, I'm not the chair.
Ilikuwa nafasi yangu.
Nani, Stone PK is the chair, so don't ask me as the chair. When I'm the chair, you can ask me. I'm even asking.
He's on phone. He's on phone.
He's on the phone.
Ilikuwa nafasi yangu Geoffrey, nikitoka nikupe ndugu yangu na wewe. Ilikuwa nafasi yangu kidogo, naomba kidogo. Najua
Order.
Can you be the entry?
Yes, Baba.
Order, guys, until Stone PK comes back. And Leo is here too, can help me.
But Mato already, Stone PK had already pronounced that the next person is Chaka. So Geoffrey, I know you are here and we can even be here up to 1. Kindly, there is a reason why Chaka ukisikia melea wacha submit, then wewe bado tuko na wewe hapa, tutapambana. Chaka, endelea.
Asante Nyabaya kwa kunielewa zaidi kwamba hali ni hizo za mkongojo ndio nakuta tukiingia yani ndio hivyo. But nishukuru pia kwa hii nafasi, alafu pia brother yangu hapo out ni nje. Asante sana kwa kuweza kumkosoa ndugu yangu hapo Kenyan with love. Hatuna Rais Ruto, tuna rais Raila Odinga kwa sababu yeye ndio mwenye ushindi. Vile pia niongezee mahali ameacha ndugu yangu hapa Wakanda. Nafikiri alikuwa anazungumzia kile kamba alikuwa katika nafsi yangu. Kile ambacho alikuwa nakizungumzia kuanzia jana mpaka sasa hivi, hapo nilikuwa nimesimama mahali amezungumzia. Na shida si kwamba tunataka Raila. Kwa nini? Shida tunang'ang'ana tuhakikishe tunapata haki, hususan katika chaguzi zetu. Tusirudi mahali kila siku tutakuwa tunaambiwa let's accept and move on, ili hali kura ya mwananchi ngumzi. So this is the time tuhakikishe kwamba tunazika huu ugonjwa kabisa na kusahaulisha machoni pa Kenya. Ndivyo tujenge rekodi mpya katika Kenya yetu, East Africa, Afrika na hata dunia nzima. Tumalizane na hawa wakora wenye kuhakisha wanaingia katika mamlaka na uongozi kutumia milango ya nyuma. Kwa sababu naamini kwamba si kwamba ni kura za urais peke yake zenye zinywa hivyo, hata kuna baadhi ya wabunge walichinjwa tu. Kuna baadhi ya magavana walichinjwa tu. Kuna baadhi ya maseneta walichinjwa tu. Mfumo huo ulitumika na tumika on daily basis kwamba anayechaguliwa mwingine anayepata ushindi mwingine. Ni vitu ambavyo tunataka tuvisahaulishe. Na hatuwezi visahaulisha kama tutaendelea na hii regime ambayo imeshindwa. Ingie hapa katika uongozi, tumeshuhudia wakifagilia GMO, wakiona watu wanapiga mshindo kwamba hawa watu wananyamazia, wakarudi hii serikali ikatuambia kwamba tuna plan, kwanza tumuongeza hata zaidi awe ni rais ambaye ataweza kutawala maisha. Walipokuja na propaganda hii, waliviona hii nayo itadunda mno, wakabalisha. Yani hawa ni wamefuatilia hii serikali ya Venezuela hii. Maana si serikali ya mwananchi. Serikali ya Venezuela ikisaidiwa na Chebukati na Martha Koome. Wamefail since wakati ule wa mwanzo. Tutazame tukumbuke tu hapo nyuma mawaziri haswa akina Murkomen uwanja wa ndege. Tulikuwa hapa. Jinsi walivyo fail. Akina Linturi jinsi walivyo fail. Akita Moses Kuria jinsi walivyo fail. For the first time wamepewa hayo majukumu tu. So hii ilianza na kufail. Kwa hiyo hapa lengo ni kuhakikisha kwamba sauti ya Mkenya ikizungumza debeni ndio tunayopewa. Na sauti ya uchaguzi uliokuwa wa August 2022 watu walimchagua Raila. Na huo ndio ukweli. Na hata Mlima ilimchagua Raila. Lakini kwa sababu ya hawa janja ambao tunataka tuwakomeshe, ili isitokee tena kizazi hiki tukimalize kabisa chenye hizi roho. Maana hawa ndio wanatupa utawala mbovu. Hawa ndio ambao hawana haja na Mkenya. kwa sababu nguvu yao kwamba wanajua jinsi walivyopata uongozi ni kwa jasho yao nyingine, upande mwingine si kwa ajili ya kura. Sasa baadaye wanatuletea wananchi, wanatufumba macho kwamba walichaguliwa kihalali na Kenya. Hakuna. Hapa lazima tutapigania hilo, na baba atupe neno la mwisho hiyo Jumapili. Na option moja tu kama alivyozungumzia ndugu yangu hapo out ni nje. Lazima tuchukue ushindi wetu. Hii propaganda wanaipanga eti wapeleke mswada bungeni wakiongozwa na huyu aliyekuwa spika wao, aliyekuwa spika wa bunge, sasa hivi na bwana mkuu wa sheria. Haka kai plan wanaipanga, ndio hiyo handshake wanaitafuta kimlango wa nyuma. Tena warudi kwamba sisi hatukubali handshake. Tulitaka mtu ambaye atakuwa opposition leader, ambaye ata counter check, atatuangalia ile kazi tunaifanya. Sisi hapa tujaribu tukaendelea kuwanyanyasa wananchi. Upuzi. Kenya tumechoka kubebwa maembe. Tunahitaji huduma. Tunahitaji watoto wasome bure. Ndivyo elimu, naamini elimu ndio uti wa mgongo. Tunahitaji hospitali zetu ziwe na madawa na ziwe na madaktari wa kutosha. Tunahitaji barabara. Tunahitaji stima vijijini huku. Stima hiyo kama itakuwa imepelekwa juu namna hiyo, utamletea mwananchi huku, itamfadisha nini? Je, itamsaidia je kunyanyua maisha yake? So ni mengi ambayo tunapigania hiyo, lakini la kwanza tunalopigania ni kuhakikisha tumemalizana na masuala ya uchaguzi. Chaguzi zijazo, awe mheshimiwa Raila, awe nani anayekuja, njia iwe ni swafi. Hakuna ukora tena. La pili tunalolipigania hapa ni harama ya maisha. Tunalozungumzia hapa kama Wakenya wenye kuipenda nchi yetu ni harama ya maisha. Hatutaendelea kuteseka namna hii. Hatutaendelea kubebeshwa mzigo namna hii. Inauma. So kwa wale mtu anapokea payslip mwisho wa mwezi hataona ni mzigo. Lakini kwa wale wana nguvuze ndio wanahisi na kubeba huo mzigo. Mimi nikiwa mmoja wao ndio naona uzito hii serikali hii. Kwa hivyo hapa mambo ni mawili tunayapigania wananchi na ndugu zangu, ni kuhakikisha kwamba tumemalizana maswala na chaguzi zetu. Wezi wakora wenye navyo hawezi nunua wakatumia pesa yao kuingia katika mamlaka hata kidogo. Yule Mkenya amemchagua, yule ndiye afaa asimame pale pale, kwa sababu huyo ndio watu wamwamini. La sivyo hakuna haja tena na chaguzi. Kama baba atakubali akubali kwamba awe kiongozi wa upinzani, akamtacheki serikali, but there's no need for us going for election come 2027. Hakuna haja. Itakuwa tuna nguvu gani ya kwenda katika chaguzi wakati wao wanajua kuchagua ni nani atakuwa rais, nani atakuwa prime minister, nani makamu wa rais, nani atakuwa nini? Tuna haja gani ya kwenda Hakuna haja. But kwa sababu tunaamini baba alishachaguliwa kihalali, yeye ndio rais wetu. Mimi simwamini Ruto tangia mwanzo kwamba ni rais wangu. Hata kabla mheshimiwa Raila hajatangaza juzi, sikuwa na muamini Ruto kuwa ni rais wangu. Na ndio maana on daily basis hapa nilikuwa napinga yale wanayafanya na zile akili wanakuja nazo kwa Wakenya kutaka kutuwatumia vibaya mno. Kwa hiyo baba awe na option moja tu ya kwenda kuchukua ushindi wake. Hapo tutakuwa tumetengeneza historia. Japo hao wa Venezuela watakuwa wametengeneza wameingia katika vitabu vya kumbukumbu kwamba walikuwa rais, haitafutika. Lakini awe ni rais wa miezi mitatu, katimuliwa. Sasa hapo historia itabaki ya Mkenya milele milele milele, na yale mataifa hapa majirani jirani wanaoteseka, nadhani watakuwa wamepata ufunguo kutoka kwetu. Tutaanza kuona haya mambo yakitendeka katika nchi zenye viongozi sampuli hii, tukianza na wa Uganda hapa jirani zetu. So Kenya, wacheni kugawanywa. Hawa wanakuja hapa bado wako na kwamba tunapiga domo kaya hapa, hakuna chochote, maana uongozi ushaenda. Hayo mambo yalipitwa na wakati. Hakuna mkubwa Kenya hii huu kama zaidi ya mwananchi. Hata awe rais huko, haizi akawa rais bila kuja kumpigia magoti mwananchi huku kumwambia kumrai. So ndugu zangu, tujeni pamoja, tusiwe kama nyoka. Tusiwe kama nyoka, kwa ni wakali kweli, lakini sasa ukimpata ni mmoja tu, uwezi wapata 10 hata siku moja. Laiti nyabaya uje wakute nyoka 10 ndio hawa wanakufuata, hizo mbio utakazotimka hapo uongo. Kwa hiyo sisi tusigawanywe, tusikubali kugawanywa ovyo ovyo. Kabila zote tushikane pamoja, na kwa kushikana kwetu katika hali ya huu ushindi tutakapokuweza kuupata na victory kurudi na freedom yetu kuipata, that's the time tutakuwa tumekuamua hatua ya kwanza ya kumalizana na ukabila. Maana hakuna kabila tahisi ameachwa nje. Pili, tutakuwa tumeanza kupata nafasi ya kuweza kuwafuatilia hawa waporaji. Hawa sasa hivi wamejifiisha ngozi ya kondoo, utadhani hakuna walokole kama wao, hakuna vile wanakosa kanisa. Lakini naamini kwamba yoyote yule, si wote wale wanasema bwana bwana ndio ambao watauona ufalme wa mbinguni. Sasa watu wanapiga matai Jumapili, hakuna jinsi mtu anaweza mobilize watu mpaka kwa kanisa ama kwa mazishi. Na mfano wa juzi tu Jakaranda, ile kipenga tulivyopigwa, uone mtu ambaye huwa ana ushindi anavyokaa na mtu ambaye hana ushindi anavyokaa. Leo nitatoa huo mfano, hiyo tofauti. Aite mkutano wake hapo Nairobi tu, huyo Ruto, kama kutakwenda watu kama wale, kama hata tumia kuwahonga na kuwatumia magari na kuanua lunch, na ukitazama ni watu kidogo tena kabila chache, si wote, ajaribu. Lakini hawana watu, ndiposa kila Jumapili, na kwa sababu aliteka kanisa na makasisi wanaongozwa na tamaa kuliko tamaa za kimwili na za yani si neno la Mungu, akishapewa gari na kupewa milioni 1 basi kasisi ndio ashakwenda na maji. Ndivyo wanamotumia kumobilize watu, ni kwa mazishi. Hapo ndo wanakatilisi wapate sauti ya kuzungumza. Hii si serikali ya Mkenya. Serikali ya Mkenya tunaijua ni ya Raila Amolo Odinga, na lazima tusimame na yeye ili kuweza kulinusuru hili taifa letu kwa watu ambao wanataka kulimaliza, kwa watu ambao wanachezesha biashara tukiona. So mimi sitaki kuwa mrefu ndugu zangu, lakini kwangu ni kwa rai wa Kenya wenzangu, turudi pamoja. Umoja wetu ndio nguvu yetu, ushirikiano wetu ndio manufaa yetu, kujitolea kwetu na kujituma kwetu ndio kutakatufulisha kutupeleka mbele zaidi. Maana hapa ni kujitolea, roho mkononi, liwe liwalo, lakini tuhakikisha tumepata hii victory yetu na tumempa mwenye ushindi. Tuone kama hii Kenya haitabadilika, tuone kama watoto hawatasoma bure, tuone kama wazee hawatapata hizo 6. Mimi hata sina haja baba niambie 6,000 za kuwapa wa Kenya zinatoka wapi, kwa sababu naziona mimi hapa nilipo, naziona. Nikianza na zile pesa zilizoregeshewa Gachagua bilioni 7.3 sio 4. Hizo ndo pesa tutazozipata kwa ziwasaidie familia maskini waweze kupata hizo 6,000, zitawasaidia pakubwa. Mtu atakopa mahali hata kama ni kwa duka, najua nikipata pesa zangu mwisho wa mwezi 6,000 nitakuja kulipa, ashanusurika. Kuliko hawa waliotuambia kwamba ni wajenga uchumi, kumbe ni waangusha uchumi. kuliko hao wanasema sisi tutadili na economy, na economy yao ni kuhakikisha palipo pesa jicho liko pale pale, ili wapate kuigawa hii keki kwa wao. We are now tired as Kenyans. Tusidanganyane hapa. Hapa tuambiane ukweli ili tulinusuru hili taifa kwa sasa hivi na kwa kuitetea vizazi vinavyokuja. Wakati ni sasa. Wakati wa kulikomboa hili taifa kwa maneno ni sasa. Huu ukombozi mpya na watatu huu wa uchumi ndio tunauanzisha sasa, tuone kama Kenya itafika wapi. Haitafika mbele kama tutapata the right person pale juu ambaye amechaguliwa na anahisi ana ule uchungu kwamba nilichaguliwa kweli mimi na wananchi, nitawafanyia kazi, kuliko kwamba tuongozwe na mtu ambaye alitumia pesa zake kuwa pale juu, uone kama anaweza kuthamini kama mwananchi. Maana hiyo ndio tofauti tulionao sasa hivi. So Kenyans, let's come together. Turudi pamoja, wacheni kuwa na uoga. Tumekuwa na watu waliopigania uhuru na walishikana kabila zote, ndio tulikomboa hili taifa. Baadaye ndio karudi kwamba wengine ndio wanajiita maumau, lakini hata huyo maumau kuna mtu alimsubiria atoke na akasema uongozi umenipa kweli, lakini nitamsubiria atoke. Na hakuwa peke yake mwenye kuzungumza hayo, alikuwa na wengine na viongozi wengine, kwamba lazima mwenzetu arudi hapa. Huo ndio ulikuwa moja huo wa Kenya, na ndio maana sasa hivi tunauregesha ule umoja ule. Watu wapaze sauti, watu wajitolee, tuhakikishe kwamba ushindi huu tumempa mwenye ushindi. Na hawa watu baada ya hapo, mwenye kuiba abebe msalaba wake, ni mahakamani, aregeshe pesa zetu zinunue madawa, aregeshe pesa zetu zile mtu ameiba zinaende zitengeneze barabara, aregeshe pesa zetu zikatengeneze masuala ya elimu, watoto wasome bure. Kule kukalisha huu msitu uliojaa wakora wenye wamepora pesa mingi wenye wako nazo. Mimi nitakwamia pale ndugu zangu, nisipandishe munkari zaidi, kwa sababu light kama ningekuwa na uwezo wa kuweza kuipendua nchi, wallahi mimi ningeingia State House. Vile sina uwezo tu. Na nikatimua haswa light kama ningejaliwa na uwezo. Njoo ni kitu kinanitia uchungu sana. Hatuwezi ongozwa na wezi. Hatuwezi ongozwa na watu waongo. Leo wakizungumza hili, kesho wamezungumza hili. Na hiyo pia Wakenya bado mna support. Hii ni nini hiyo hasela? Wako wapi hao mama mboga na boda bodas? Where are they? Lini ulisikia mtu talisia kauli moja inazungumzia boda boda sasa hivi na mama mboga na Wanjiku? Zaidi ya kahawa mlima na majani chai mlima. Hata huyo mkutano ameenda amezungumzia kahawa na majani chai mlima. Na hawa Kenya wengine, please let's come together. Tupiganie nchi yetu. Tupiganie ukombozi wa tatu na Mungu atatusaidia. Hakuna refu lisiokuwa na mwisho. Na siku zote mimi huzungumzia hapa, hata juzi nilizungumzia kwamba ujanja wa nyani ni mwisho ni jangwani tu. Na ushafika. Wa open server hawataka kufungua server, watupe ushindi wetu. Wafungue server tuone kile kiko pale ndani. Si mambo ya kwamba poto, si mambo si kuna poto, si kuna nini. Hiyo kitu hatutaki kusikia. Let them open server, wafungue. Hapo tutakapojua mshindi ni nani, halisi ni nani. Na hapo ndo tutakuwa tumekuamua na tumemjua haswa mjanja hapa nani. Lakini I do believe ujanja wa nyani unaelekea jangwani sasa hivi. Hakuna miti sijui itakuwaje. Asanteni.
Stone PK barabara. Asante sana Chakandume. Uwezo unao, usiseme huna uwezo. Uwezo unao. Na hivi karibuni lazima tutaenda tunyakue ushindi huo. Naona wengine wanakuja hapa wanatype vitu watu kama kina Keep Elijah, if at all you are here and you've been following us each and every day, and I can see you're even having a top fan badge, and you're saying that we people are saying nonsense here. I think there's something wrong with your mind. You need to interrogate your external mind so that it can agree with your internal mind. Your internal mind is here and they know what you're saying here is making sense internally. But because your external mind has been compromised and lured and cheated by Ruto, so it doesn't want to accept what your internal brain is telling you. So you need to ensure these two parts of your brain agree instead of typing some nonsense here. In fact, what you're typing is what is not making sense. I was told the next person is supposed to be Godfrey Ouma.
Okay, thank you, Leo. I greet you all, my friends. There's something I'm going to kuchangia about what Wakanda said, but before I go to what Wakanda said, Mr. Out in Inje, how are you? There's something you have raised up.
I'm good, sir. I'm good, sir. I'm good.
Yeah, there's this issue you have raised up, issue ya kuita huyu mwizi president. You know, si atakuwa tunataka kumuita president, but sometimes unashtuka tu umemuita. Si atakuwa tumeitoa kwa mdogo wa nini yetu, kwa roho yetu. Huyu hatuwezi muita president, but sometimes it happens tu unashtukia tumemuita president kwa sababu ni vile ako pale. So usitulaumu sana, tulikuwa inapitia tu ani. Si ati tunaitoa kwa mdogo kwa moyo. Wakanda, there's something you talked about that we only have two issues. One is either we take our victory. The second one is either we check the government. I can assure you that we are not checking this government as opposition. That is for sure. I can assure you, we are not taking it as opposition. My only concern is that we are going for our victory. But sasa kuna shida kidogo. Shida ni kuwa yesterday, nini was live. This guy anaitwaje? Huyu Okanga was live. Akawa anaulizwa maswali. So by the time akawa anaulizwa maswali, I wanted to know what is really happening on the ground in Nairobi. Nikaingia kwa channel na nikamuuliza, because I wanted to know if hii moto ambao baba alikuja nayo kwa Kamkunji ndiko on the ground ama haiko on the ground. I came to learn that kumbe hakuna watu ambao wanaitembeza hii fire on the ground. Watu wamenyamaza tu, wanangoja mpaka baba akuja aongee ndio twende. Baba akuja aongee ndio twende. I think this is the right time that we need people. You know, taking power si kitu rahisi. And that's why I was pushing for this channel ifanye 24 hours. At least sahi watu wa Kenya wameamuka sahi, at least they can listen. Na ufuate kitu ambacho tunasema. Taking power in fact from this guy, huyu mwizi. This guy is not a good person. Huyu mtu ni brutal na ni mtu ambaye anaweza ua kwa sababu mambo yake kwa ni izeda auwe lakini asikose. Ni izeda apate na apate. So what I was asking Kenyans ni kuwa, you know, in South Africa before the revolution took place, ni youths ambao walianzisha that revolution. And those youths saw what was happening. Wakawa wamekasirika. Na wakati walikasirika, walianza kuvunja vitu. Wanapata watu wameketi kwa group, wanavunja hizo vitu, wanawaambia mbona mnasherekea? Unajua wazee wa kitambo walikuwa wanapenda kuketi, wanakunywa pombe, wanapiga story, alafu walikuwa na ile mentality kwa muogopa wazungu. So wakawa wanatupa hizo machupa zao za pombe, wanawaambia mbona mnaketi hapa mnasherekea na kule wasichana wetu wanakuwa raped, watu wetu wanauliwa, wazungu wanachukua shamba zetu. Hapo wakati vijana waliamuka, kuna some leaders ambao waliona potential in these guys, in these youths, na wakawachukua, wakawatrain kisiri. Sasa wakati walianza kupush on, jamaa walikuwa tayari wako na courage, na walikuwa wako na walikuwa washapata strategy how they move with their cause. Sisi hapa baba has lightened the lamp. But now hakuna mtu ambaye anapush pale chini. Kinokanga wakishatoka kwa mkutano, hakuna mtu anawasaidia kule chini kupush on this thing kwa sababu kitu si rahisi kuchukua. So what I was asking, kina Raila should plan au na strategy, at least kuwa na watu ambao watapush. You know, tukisema tunaenda on the front line, sahi vijana wataenda sawa, kina Okanga watakuwa mbele. But now si kitu ambacho itachukua one day, ni kitu inaweza enda karibu 2 weeks, inaweza enda kwa 1 week. On that 1 week we need people who are strong. We need people who can survive. And unajua sasa kuna economy imechangia kila kitu maribu. Sasa watu wako weak, watu wako na njaa. Sasa mtu kukaa for 2 weeks kama hajakula haitakuwa rahisi. We need somebody. Raila should have a group of people ambao wana push, wanaonyesha watu strategy ambao watatumia. I talked to Okanga but hakuniambia ni strategy ambayo iko pale. Alituambia sisi njia yetu ni twende tuchukue. Tunaweza enda tukachukua, lakini sasa isifanyike kama ile ambayo ilifanyika 2017, ile ambayo baba alichukua akaapishwa lakini ilikuwa haina effect. Sasa we need tukienda kuchukua tunachukua na we took the real thing na baba achukue uongozi. But we need strategy. Si kunyamaza itatusaidia. Yes, Mato.
Leo, sorry.
Yes. I can see your hand up.
No, Leo, it's you. Can you, Leo? Can you?
Okay, just a minute Yeah, I can hear you. And just a minute before you respond or you ask your question, I see
No,
Wakanda.
I didn't want to respond anything. I just wanted you to put your number, your WhatsApp number. I don't have it. If you can put it out there, there's a video I want to send you and see if you can play it. Because you're easier to play. My thing is acting up.
All right, I'm doing so. Wakanda, before I give you a minute, I just want to make a clarification. You know, these guys like misleading people. Like Nico Diambo is already misleading some there in the Facebook that the Jacaranda rally has been postponed. Nico Diambo, Jacaranda rally has not been postponed, will not be postponed, and don't dream of that. The rally is still on, and we tell your neighbors to prepare to attend the rally. What happened is, the letter that you people are saying was written by somebody called Samuel Ochola. He is the Secretary General of Gor Mahia. I myself am not only a fan of Gor Mahia, I'm a member who votes in that club, and I'm also a shareholder in the Gor Mahia SACCO. So the request, they were requesting Raila, I think I'll just take a minute and read for you the letter. Yeah? They said, to our esteemed patron, the Right Honorable Raila Odinga, belated Happy New Year and the best wishes for all your plans and endeavor in this year. We, the Kogalo fraternity, are aware that you have planned a consultative meeting with Wananchi Kamdemo on Sunday, 29th January 2023. As our dear patron, we wish to remind you of our Mashemeji Derby clash with AFC Leopards at 3 p.m. Nyayo Stadium, the same day that you will be holding consultative meeting Kamdemo. We hereby formally invite you to grace the occasion. We also appeal to you to consider either scheduling the demo or having it in a good time to enable supporters of both clubs make their way to the stadium. It is true that the Green Army and the Blue Army are the main army in the Azimio. So they did not tell Raila to postpone or do what. The two things can happen at the same time. We will attend Jacaranda rally, and after the Jacaranda rally, we can go and watch football from 7 p.m. It has happened in Kenya before. 2014, we used to play the KPL games at Nyayo Stadium from 7 p.m. There is full floodlight there. So Nico Diambo, don't be worried. The two will have to occur. And if in any case the players are not going to Jacaranda, the game will continue in the stadium. There are many days people have been playing in that stadium without fans. And I can tell you, we will go to Jacaranda and think of attending the match at maybe another day. So don't be worried. Wakanda, you can ask the question you wanted, then we allow Godfrey to wind up.
Mute. Mute. Wakanda, mute your mic.
Mute or unmute? Unmute, yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Godfrey, there is something that you say that I don't know. I've just lost it.
Wakanda, you are muted. You are muted, Wakanda. You have to unmute, yeah.
Okay. Wakanda said you've lost it. So as you're looking for it, Godfrey, you can just wind up. Maybe if it is a rivet, he'll get it and get back to you later. So just wind up so that we don't take a lot of time.
Okay, what I was trying to say, we need a strategy because this guy is just brutal efficiency. Na ni mtu ambaye anaweza amua kuua na ataua. Okay, we have some few guys kina Gaucho wako kwa field. But we need also leaders. Raila anafaa awe na strong man. Hao watu hao kama kina Mobimba should come out. Ode Mobimba mimi namuona tu kwa jukwaa. But he should come out aende pale chini kwa sababu anajua hao watu wanaishi vipi, ashapitia hiyo hali. He should go down, aongee na kina Gaucho wa plan, wawe na a strategy that tukienda okay.
Yeah, I think Godfrey, the only problem that
one thing that I often I struggle with whatever you are saying. You know, the master plan cannot be shared at social media on a social platform like this. That way you will fail, because once you share that plan, you are saying that Raila is not telling us the plan. Then you are as dead as your plan, because when let's say today maybe Gaucho or anyone, and they need to also be advised that once you have a plan, you don't come on a social platform like this and share the plan. The plan will not work, because the other person will know how to counter your plan. So this idea of us pushing so hard that Raila is not sharing a plan, or what, the ambiguity is what might is the best thing to do a revolution. Yeah, you have to be ambiguous. You must be unpredictable. History sharing a plan, oh, we want these details, or what next? You are going nowhere once the plan has been shared, my friend. That is I might be wrong, but for me, if someone was planning how to kill me or remove me into power and shares a plan on this platform, and I know, let's say Gaucho or the other guy is coming on this platform to share the plan, I will have time to plan how to counter them. So they need Gaucho and the rest of, if these are the people who are going to work with Baba, they have to be told how to hold on critical information. You can't share everything on a social platform unless you are sitting somewhere planning to execute. You only execute, but you don't share the plan. You only execute, but not sharing the plan. If they do that, then, my friend, we will be wasting time. Coming here to share plans, you will be wasting time.
Wakanda, what I meant, I interrogated Nene, I interrogated this guy.
Let's have some order. So let's have some order. Geoffrey, do you want to back?
I wanted to say something.
That?
Yeah, I wanted to say something.
Yeah, I thought that was very clear, because you see, some of us are very, very connected in terms of all what is going on. Like now we've been having long conversations. You see, what we discuss here is mobilization, period. Just mobilization, explaining to people why we are going for that cause. The rest of the details, you will never hear them. Even when Gaucho comes here, he will just tell you, tutaenda huko Jacaranda. How they will go, the route, nini, you will not know. Even you don't know what will be there immediately after Jacaranda. Okay? You know, and they are so much used to these things. The planning and all that, you know, the mass movement and all that. Even Baba will never tell you. If you listen to Baba very carefully, he tells you the rest. We will know as we move on. And that's the strategy. This one is heavy, Godfrey. Even if you call people, it is very few people who know what is happening. Because again, if you involve everybody, then it will not be a plan. All right? So you only need to have a critical mass that is planning, and it has to be very critical. And number two, people know Ruto can kill and will kill, but he kills his ICC is waiting for him. This is serious. And you don't know why Ruto is so quiet when these things are happening. It's because he's being watched. Ako katika meno ya nini? Ya mamba. Not that he's just that. In fact, Kenyans have the advantage to do whatever we want to do. The Constitution empowers us to do that. Power belongs to us. So mass movement, it's okay. Kumtimua kutoka kwa serikali, it's okay. We'll be claiming our sovereignty and our power as a people. We feel he is not fit. So sisi ndio tuko more advantaged than Ruto. He tries to throw one bullet, he's gone. Tutamkuamua tu akiwa amelala hapo. Tumtimua mbio ile mbaya mbovu. Leah, you may want to continue a little bit. There is a call I'm on. I just
all right. Yes. All right, it's okay. Yeah. So maybe Godfrey, just also on the same note, there are some things that are not planned publicly. Like if we say tomorrow we are going to do this, follow this route to do this, the enemy prepares. They get the right way to rebut and the right way to respond to your plans. That is why there are specific planning that can never be shared. The only thing is they'll tell you, you are going to know what is taking place. The number two, this guy that you're talking of, Mubimba, Makatwich, was just like the gaucho that you're seeing. He's one man that nobody knew will become the MCA. He's the MCA of Korokocho ward. If you don't know where Korokocho is one slum that you cannot go if you've never been in that place and walk freely. Even people will be able to know where ni mgeni na hautapita. Ask those people who've been in Korokocho. Na huko ndio kuna jeshi. Wale wakiamua wamefunga hiyo barabara watafunga na hakuna kitu mtafanya. So this is a guy who is really in touch with the ground, with the real hustlers, and he knows what he says. And maybe to confirm that one to you, let me play for you a video here. So this video will confirm your doubts and maybe bring you back and realize that everything is well planned.
Watu wetu mikono tuwatoe chini. Kwa siasa ya taifa, baba, kuna njia nyingine. Tunataka tutoke, tuende Ikulu, tutoe huyo mwizi Ikulu. Na mimi nataka niseme namna hii, lazima tuingie town, tufunge na biashara, hakuna biashara itaendelea hii capital city of Nairobi. Ndio William Ruto heshimu Raila Amolo Odinga. Lazima tufunge biashara hii Nairobi. Baba, tulisikia ule mjinga anaitwa Gachagua anasema ati awachiwe Raila atadili na yeye. Mimi Gachagua nilishamlima nikamweka chini ya kitanda. Ule mtu wa githeri na mchele hawezi tishia baba. Sawa sawa. Baba, wani warawei serikali ya Ruto waliingia kwa store wakaiba mpaka condom. Alafu wanasema ati serikali waliwachiwa bila kitu. Kama wanaiba condom, watasaidia wananchi namna gani? Kwa hivyo naambia Excellency Raila Amolo Odinga, tunataka tutoke nje, tuokoe taifa, tupeleke Kenya mbele, mambo iinuke. Asante na Mungu awabariki. Tulo.
So that is the Matuech Mobimba. His name, the one he was using in the estate is Tulo. So when I was in high school, I happened to be attending some games at there is a stadium in Korokocho. It's a Catholic church called St. John. So he's one guy who is good in organizing and mobilizing. And from that speech, I can tell you half of the Jubilee MPs have responded to him. And if you go to your social media, you'll find most of them responded to him. So it really, they really know what will happen. And they really know the impact of the person speaking. That is why when you see they arresting Gaucho, it tells you they know who is now mobilizing. This thing is not being done by the MPs who've been elected. It is done by the common mwananchi ambaye amechoka, anaona gharama ya maisha imepanda. Na gharama ya maisha imepanda na bado itazidi kupanda. Manake kila mtu akiongea kila kukicha mnaambiwa maisha itazidi kupanda. At the same time, huyo Ruto wenyu anaenda Dakar to go and lecture some Africans. He's lecturing some Africans on food security. Yet in Kenya, people are going hungry. Bado ako na ile courage ya kwenda kukalisha African president anawa lecture anawaambia how to deal with food security. Na Kenya huko ameacha watu wanakufa njaa. Yeye bado na is interior minister, this man huyu wa soprano anaitwa aje sijui Kindiki, wanaenda kupeana threats huko. Jana, the other day, 3 people were killed. I'm told the government even armed some other communities, so the wars there may increase. Bado anaendanga tu kupeana threat akiliniwa, wanapeana threat akiliniwa, wakitoka Wakenya wanauliwa. And somebody wants to tell you tumpatie serikali nafasi. Nafasi ya nini? This guy doesn't need even a week. These guys should be removed as fast as possible. And from that Jacaranda meeting, I can tell you this thing is possible. It needs some mindset. Somebody who thinks of Kenya, and Kenya is already tired with the state of economy. Things are going up, nothing is coming down. So if that is the bottom up, you are told, then I don't think it is the right thing. Do they want to raise the price of everything so that they start afresh? It's not going to happen. So I'll still encourage those people who are still doubting. Jacaranda is a real deal. You know, in these public forums is where pronunciations are made. And these announcements that are made in the public forums normally have got some greater impact, because when you go home, you'll now have to implement them. It might not happen suddenly or on a single day, but as long as we are doing something, it gives us hope that there is possibility that finally we are going to achieve our main objective. And you know, you and I know our main objective is to ensure that we don't allow the UDA and Kenya Kwanza to continue dealing with Kenyans as if they're dealing with their personal property. Yesterday, I had a minister, and I don't know who speaks for Ruto nowadays, because everybody purports to be speaking for the government, and I'm aware they have more than 10 communicators. I had this one, this shareholder of Kenya Power, Ndindi Nyoro. This guy is the greatest shareholder in Kenya Power, and they keep on increasing the cost of tokens and the cost of electricity, and somebody still comes in this forum to tell you that it is stima ijapanda. I heard him saying that they are going to privatize the government parastatals. My friend, the only thing that they need to tell us, if these parastatals are not making profit, then they need to do something to ensure that the parastatals make profit. When the Kenya Meat Commission was not making profit, what did Uhuru do? He realized that there were cartels there. Ruto's son among the cartels in the Kenya Meat Commission. What did he do? It only took Uhuru 1 month to hand over that parastatal called Kenya Meat Commission to the army. Then within a month, everything changed, and the Kenya Meat Commission is up, standing and operating, and it's selling meat and making profits. So why can they do that? The only thing is they remove the cartels. They do tell us they know the cartels. These parastatals can make profit, but they're not making profit because of the cartels who are there. If you go to Kenya Power, who are the cartels there? Forget about even the shareholders like Ndindi Nyoro. The cartels are Ruto's people. When Keter was the minister there, he really ensured that he even brought even the sweepers. The same people, the same cartels. So the Kenya Cereals Board, the Cereals Board ilianguka wakati Ruto alikuwa minister wa agriculture. Mbona ilianguka? You are told waligula aje, even the sweeper walitoa kwao wakaweka hapo, and these guys were totally destroying these parastatals. So the enemy of parastatals in Kenya we know is William Ruto. Anything parastatal he touched imeanguka chini. When Ruto was the Minister of Agriculture, that is when the sugar industry ya Kenya ilianguka. This giant Mumias Sugar ilianguka wakati Ruto alikuwa Minister of Agriculture. If you go to places like Sony Sugar, the Muhoroni, and all these sugar companies that you see, wakati gani, before Ruto became the Minister of Agriculture, these companies were making profits, and you will go to any supermarket and pick of any sugar that is made in Kenya. During that time, you will buy Mumias, you will buy Cabras, you will buy Sony. What happened when Ruto became the minister? That's the time we started seeing sugar being imported from Brazil and packed as Mumias sugar. What did he do as a Minister of Agriculture? Our education system, the higher education system, started failing when Ruto was the Minister of Higher Education. That is when our universities started registering and producing some fake graduates. People like Sakaja will just walk in, register and wait for some few years to get awarded for degrees they did not even qualify for. The degrees they did not even attend classes. Why is it easy for you currently to walk into University of Nairobi, pay money, go rest in your comfy offices, then wait for graduation when you don't even attend a single class? Who made it possible? And now they are telling us they want to privatize our universities. Will we be able to pay? If you're not able to pay school fees in a private primary school, how will you pay school fees in a private university? We need to ask ourselves these questions. The government, at the same time, they're telling us the government is not in the business of doing business. At the same time, the government is not in the business of making profit out of hard-working Kenyans' money. If the government has to make profit, then this profit should be shared equally. We know very well in every business that we have in the country, the government takes 30% as taxes. So is that one not business? Are they not enjoying the proceeds? They are not enabling the business. So we need to stop this government before our country loses its value. IMF yesterday, the other day, told you that Ethiopia and Angola is overtaking us in terms of the GDP. How? This is a country that has been moving on well. Even during COVID, we did not. I don't think we did not lower ourselves like this. We were able to come up with measures to mitigate the COVID, and Kenya stood strong and stable. So right now, we are only 4 months into this Kenya Kwanza government. The value of the dollar has dropped. Right now, if you have $1, it is Kenyan shillings 128. I've just checked in the morning. Just imagine. So it means our traders will have to spend more money in order to get dollars. If they used to import something at $100, and maybe at $100 they were using 10,000 Kenyan shillings, today they'll have to use 13,000 Kenyan shillings to get an item that is valued at $100. So what does that one tell you? We need to do something. We need to do something. I think I'll welcome Guru to say. I don't know if he's still around. Let's see him. Guru, you can welcome. You can proceed and speak. As I'm preparing that video. Guru, karibu.
Habari yenu. Habari.
Mzuri sana tunakusikiza. Ni venye watu wako disciplined huku. Umejua wanaambiwa when somebody is speaking, they mute themselves. So I
Kwani amepotea?
Nzuri Guru.
Stone PK. Wapi Stone PK? Kwani amepotea? Now, I can see defenseless. Is it defenseless? I beg to differ. I think you have noticed that most of the MPs have kept off this debate. The elected members of parliament are keeping away from the push and pull between Raila and Ruto. The question you ask yourself, why? Let me tell you, there's a person in the last meeting who said, those who are not here will soon be following the caravan. You know, politicians sometimes, not sometimes, actually behave like poachers. They wait for the animal to be felled. Some even wait for the rotting process to start so that they can now come in. What do I mean? There are politicians mostly wouldn't want to get into a rhythm that will fail them. Some of these are young politicians, and they know that once a certain momentum takes, place, if you are not in that rhythm, you end your political career. So today, they are in government. But at the same time, out there is something building up whose direction at this level is very difficult to tell. If you can revisit what happened between 2003 to 2007, it will tell you how the mobilization mainstream affects the next general elections. You are aware that some of them are still very insecure, because actually some of them, as you had the tinkering with the voting, most of them, at least a sizable number, did not get their positions because they deserved. And Jose Camargo assisted them to get where they are. Kwa hivyo, the troops will start being known once the momentum picks pace. That's when you know who is on which side, especially for the elected leaders. Because right now, if you go to the ground and you find everybody has shifted on one side, those are politicians for you. They will start trooping on either side. So hii maneno saa hii iko kwa mikono ya wananchi. Wananchi ndio mwishowe watasema hawa watu wataelekea upande gani. It's a very serious situation, because we don't have principled politicians. Most of them are just like those poachers. If you ask what they stand for, they will not tell you. That's why today those who are actually holding the levers of power were the ones who vehemently opposed the current constitution. But you see, today they are enjoying the trappings of the same constitution that they opposed so aggressively. So that is the paradox of the Kenyan nation. Sometimes unapikia watu chakula, unafikiria sasa ndio wakati wa kula hiyo chakula, lakini mtu mwingine anakuja anachukua kwanza kwa nguvu. So there is one analyst who has said that this thing could take a life of its own. It starts in small installments. Those who are right now not sure where things are moving, they are just quiet. But because they are politicians, once they know the ground has become hot, they will start trying to squeeze out those who have been braving themselves in the trenches as this momentum picks pace. The most interesting thing is that this time things seem grounded on reality. I don't know whether you have noticed that nobody has come up with a counter to the figures that were given of what happened, the 8.1 versus 5.9. There is nobody who has come to say those figures are exaggerated. There is nobody who has disputed those figures in any way, except the one who came close to saying that the servers were opened wrong time ago. But then again, I don't know whether he knows the difference between a server and a portal, because he seems to have been talking about the portal. And that portal is what was fed with fake figures. So therefore, Baba has a right to ask for the servers to be opened. The other thing that is most interesting, I don't know whether you heard when Raila met with the leaders in Nairobi. He told foreign powers to keep off Kenyan affairs. That was a very strong statement. I just saw came across information that I don't know whether it's true, that there was a plan to find a way to go and protest on the gates of American embassy. I don't know whether they are the main movers of what is happening, and they have since revised their view on the Kenyan elections of August, that it cannot now be known who exactly won these elections. That's a very heavy statement. And I would not want to preempt what that means, but I can only assume that perhaps they are thinking of a situation like that which happened in 2018 and 2008, of handshake and sharing of government and so on and so forth. But I think they are mistaken, because Kenyans have since moved on, and I think no Kenyan, especially a supporter of Raila Amolo Odinga, would want to hear of handshake with the government of William Ruto. Therefore, I think they have underestimated the progress in Kenya in terms of political, formations and
Guru,
political.
your phone is really ringing there.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Somebody was trying to enter in with the phone. So what I'm saying is that they may be wanting to micromanage the situation that we have, but this time they are in for a rude shock, because in fact the most radical supporters are those that supporting Raila. They would not want anything to do with the handshake. Sasa hapo sijui watafanya namna gani. You can imagine the government perhaps would want a handshake, because after all they are already holding the levers of power. But the person they are going for handshake to is supporters himself. I don't know. I'm not in his heart. I don't know whether he would want personally or not, but his supporters would not want that to happen. So we are staring at what sometime back Stone PK called the uncharted waters. The matters in Kenya today look to be beyond the Supreme Court, because even the Supreme Court itself is subject of what is being discussed. The IEBC is a subject of being discussed. So when you reach a point whereby even the Supreme Court itself is a subject of public debate on its conduct, then we have a problem there, because the only fallback position is that of the sovereignty of the Kenyan people. Asante.
Asante sana, Guru. And to those people who still doubt this journey, let me remind them, if Ruto himself and his government have already panicked, and they are right now thinking of ways to manage Baba, something that we are against, are you aware that they are planning to introduce a bill that will allow Raila to get back to parliament? And I remember this man called Justin Muturi, I think is the Attorney General, saying that it is possible. We do not need a referendum. We can think a bit with Article 108 to have the person who comes second in the presidential poll to become the minority leader in the National Assembly, and the running mate to become the minority leader in the Senate. And they are planning that they want to introduce a bill, and in that bill they pass it so that Raila joins the National Assembly and becomes the minority leader, claiming that that office is really financed by the Parliamentary Service Commission. Then Kalonzo, who was the running mate, to join the Senate and to become the minority leader there. How on earth can somebody who won elections become a minority? So that is what they're planning. It tells you these guys have really panicked, and we will not allow them to do that. Son PK, you can say so.
Yeah, thank you, Leo. Let me say quickly, to rejoice on what Bwana Guru amesema, and we've done quite good also to make it very clear. You see, Guru amesema we are on uncharted waters. Truly speaking, not only are we on uncharted waters, but now we are even beyond the constitution. And this is what people should know. For us in Azimio now, we don't really care about the constitution. Because I keep on saying, two wrongs don't make a right. But then if wrongs continue happening, how do you correct them? So let them take it to the bank. Right now where we are, we don't care about the constitution. We just care about getting the power back, which is what we are going to do. And Ruto can prepare to do whatever he wants to do. It's not about the constitution anymore. Hii kitu imekuwa mbaya. Ruto amengoja ikafika rapture stage. And that is where we are. He can arrest Gaucho, he can do whatever he wants, but we don't want to reveal what is really happening. The boiler is boiling. Sasa, it's not constitution ni mavia kuku sasa. We don't care about it because nobody respects it. So no one should use it kama vile watu wanatumia Biblia kuwagandamiza watu. Ruto can keep the constitution. He can do whatever he wants to do with the constitution, but he has screwed it up. So it is now watoto nyara, free for all. Mwenye nguvu mpishe. Sasa tupimane nguvu basi. Asante Leo.
Thank you. Yes.
I don't know, but you see, the difficult position we are in right now as a country is that it was never envisaged that an electoral body can conspire with service providers, ICT companies, and some political elite to pollute the democracy in the country. So we are in a situation where the country has become kind of a captive of some political elite in conspiracy with some foreign company or companies that provide us with the ICT infrastructure. We even don't know what they decided when they were getting the contract. You cannot tell. But perhaps even the part of their deal was to do what they did. So it is a difficult situation. And that's why I think Raila saying this is beyond even Kenya. It is for the African continent because we are holding elections, ICT systems and infrastructure, and the companies providing us with that infrastructure are getting involved in what outcome will finally be announced. A very dangerous thing because it means then the vote of a citizen is not respected anymore. That's why you can see people chest thumping because they know whether you go to vote or you don't vote. Already the systems have been set in such a way that they will emerge victorious. This is a serious matter. And I think that's why Raila said he's ready to assist and lead that path for the sake of Kenya, for the sake of African continent. Asante.
Okay, thank you. For those ones who are checking on the Candid Talk, the feeds currently in YouTube, you'll find it in Mutembei TV. Facebook, we are having Mutembei TV and the Swift Media. So those are the only 3 channels that are giving you the live feeds. I think the other show that was ended, the one that you had at night, was being streamed in Candid Talk and Mutembei TV. But right now, we only have one YouTube channel that is streaming live. That is Mutembei TV. So those ones following at the Candid, maybe you might think it is behind. So you can change and join Mutembei TV. That is where you'll get the live feeds currently. I can see out India is having the hand. Godfrey Ouma, Zalendo is also waiting to speak next. Kenyan with the lab is also there. Andrew Werimo Karibu, you will speak after, you'll submit after Mzalendo. So I'll just give less than a minute for those ones who've raised their hands. Mzalendo have not submitted, Andrew Werimo have also not submitted, so that we give people equal chance, so that we can be able to hear from everyone. So Godfrey, less than a minute.
Okay, a minute I cannot finish. I think because in a minute what I wanted to
say.
Okay,
yeah, you utarudi baadaye kawaida. We are not locking you. We are not closing now.
Okay, let me concur with Mr. Guru, what he said. You know, in Azimio, we only have organic supporters of Raila. The people who can die for Raila. Raila kama sasa twende kufe, watu tenda kufe. But ukiangalia these other chamas, hakuna mtu anaweza toka akaenda kufight when watu Raila wana fight. So what I was talking about the other time, ile ambao Mr. Stone alikuwa anasema, si ati nilikuwa nataka tupewe the real thing that is happening, the real plan. What I was saying ni hii mobilization. Ani isinyamaze, tunafaa tuwe na mobilization kuwa ile fire ani iendelee ku keep burning. Sikuwa nasema watupatie real nini plan kwa nini kwa live TV. Okay, I will come back kwa sababu kitu ambacho nilikuwa kusema it will take some time kidogo. But I will come back later.
Okay. Thank you. As I'm giving Mato also 1 minute, let me just remind this man called Julius Koech. Julius Koech, Kenya is known as a country of potential. This is a country that wins the gold medals worldwide. This is a country in Africa that was the first to nullify the presidential election. So telling us that we can try it elsewhere, not on another planet, we are sorry to tell you that we are going to try it here in Kenya. Kenya is the one that sets the pace, not only in Africa, but in the world. So just be patient with us, and soon you will come to swallow your words. We are doing it in Kenya, and we are going to set an example as the first country in this region where a fraud who is masquerading as a president will have to be forced to resign or surrender or leave office. So just be patient with us. Mato, you wanted to say something, a minute. You don't want to take Mzalendo's time. His points might diffuse before he...
No, I just wanted you to address the people on the candidate because they were asking me what's going on. If you can address them to maybe come on this side, because I've gone to the other side too. I think is really behind. Unless you can address that.
I've really checked. If you check up there, you'll find that we are only streamlining. We are only live in Mutembei TV, YouTube. Then there's Mutembei TV, Facebook, and the Swift Media. So maybe if there are people who are there, what I can do, we can have maybe Mutembei TV, YouTube, Mutembei TV, Facebook, and we can see if we can include the candidate. I know there are some who are waiting there, so let me see what we can do about it. And Mzalendo, I want to welcome you, and because you are a good man, you are a Mzalendo, I want you to, as you join, you maybe have a say on this or comment on this as you are coming in. There's a nice video there.
This is what we are saying. And that's the point,
my brother, don't forget about my video.
That when there is a transition in any religious institution, we want to see merit, not balkanization of the country based on which religious formation is stronger. Now these are realities, just like Arsenal and Man U. And so we need not to be pushed back when we are saying this, because people look to the church to provide leadership. So when leadership, and he raised something earlier, perhaps he was off air, that there are certain individuals that were poised to rise to the position of Secretary General of National Council of Churches of Kenya. What other considerations made it impossible for them to rise to those levels? If these things are not spoken here, we'll be lying to ourselves. We are not attacking any institution, but we are saying it cannot always be that when leadership is meant to transition in certain institutions, then there are those who are preordained. That's what we are saying. Whether it is in the church, whether it is in government, that people can tell the outcome of an election even before it is held, and confidently tell you that even if your brother were the returning officer, Now, that is not a democratic system. In a democracy, it is the process that should be predictable, not the outcome. Yet in this country, we have gone on a campaign where we have been told we do not know who will be elected, but we know who will not be. Now, that is not a democracy. Because in any democratic process, it is the process that should be predictable. The least predictable thing should be the outcome.
Yes, Mzalendo, Karibu, that is Churchill. Churchill telling us that in Kenya, what happens is the opposite. The process is never predictable, but the only thing that is always predictable is the winner. And that is why when you had those, Don was, I think, interrogating the chairman for IBC on matters of the process, he kept on baffling and he kept on jumping from one story to another, telling you very clearly that the process that they used was not predictable, the process cannot be verified, and the only thing that they can verify, they can tell you that the winner won. So how the winner won, nobody will tell you. They'll tell you the winner won and we announced the winner and I don't know the portal and what, but they will not tell you how did you arrive at the winner. That's the question that most Kenyans have been asking. In every forum, in every channel, people are asking, how did this winner win? You keep on telling us the winner won. Then how did it happen? They're not able to explain the process. And that is what you're saying, that is not democracy. Mzalendo, it is your time. Huh?
I'm having, I think I pressed the wrong button on my gadget. Anyway, good evening, good morning, guys. I can see Stony PK. I can see Geoffrey. I can see, oh gosh, my eyes are gone. I can see Andrew. I can see Guru. Leo kama kawaida. Out ni nje. Out ni nje. Kenya Nyang Nyang, whatever that is. That's a very funny name. Okay. Thank you, Leo, for inviting me once again. You know, these are rare opportunities that we get to differ, and on some issues, sometimes we agree. But most of the time, we put our country forward. I believe we all have the best interest of our country, whether you are on this other side and I'm on this other side, or I'm neutral on other views. But the most important thing is that we don't want to burn our country for the sake of a politician or a few individuals who want to grab power. I want to start with the video that I've just seen, Churchill talking about the evangelical churches or the Christian churches in Kenya. I want to say Azimio failed big time, and it is all about strategy. Politics is about strategy. You must get the churches on your side, and Ruto did his homework so well. He managed to get the churches on his side. Remember, during Moi's time, the churches were against the president because the opposition then had them on their side, and they had a view and a strong view. So when we are going to the politics of 2022, Ruto managed to get the churches on his side, while Azimio was still having the rallies and vilifying the deputy president, not knowing that Uhuru was the president of the day. So they failed big time in that, and it's all about strategy. Then came the so-called famous handshake. The handshake was between Uhuru and Raila, purporting that there was a war going on, while the real enemy was Ruto. Ruto was the enemy of state then. So Uhuru got a handshake with the wrong person. Instead of getting a handshake with Uhuru, he got a handshake with the opposition leader who didn't have a problem. The problem was Ruto. So that handshake was for convenience sake. It was not for the country. It was for a partnership of two individuals, and never brought forth to anything meaningful. All right. Okay. So as we go on, Leo, I'd put for you an issue about the rally tomorrow, on Sunday. I think it's on Sunday at Jacaranda. You can see some issues are already cropping up. That Gor Mahia have got this derby. I don't know whether it was planned by FKL a long time ago. Maybe you can check
Okay,
on.
maybe to respond to you in that, the games are normally planned by the federation, and that once the league starts, the fixture is normally out. So it was planned, and people were ready for the derby. The games have been going on each and every weekend, but the derby does not in any way stop the rally or interfere with the rally. And the fact that majority of the followers of Gor Mahia and FC Leopards doubles up as the followers of Raila Amolo Odinga. So the letter is not something that needs to raise eyebrows, though in that case, Ochola did not act well. The letter it was just trying to invite Raila to go and grace the derby. So what can happen if Raila wants to attend the derby? It is still possible. The game is supposed to start at 3 p.m. FKF can reschedule that game. That is through the request of our able chairman, Ambrose Rachier. He's done that one before and he can still do it. They can schedule that game so that it can become the Jacaranda curtain raiser. We can attend the game at 10 a.m. or we can attend the game at 11. Then from the game, we march together to Jacaranda. So that one will be taken care of. That I should not worry you. As long as you are not a fan or a member of the two clubs, it should not worry you. That was just a letter that was just taken out of proportion. And it is also good that, the time that Raila comes in, attends the rallies. So the game will continue whether the rally will have to continue, whether the game is there or not. The game is played by players, not fans. Fans just watch. So the important things first. So the Jacaranda rally is only is the most important thing there. The games have been there. They can be postponed. It is possible. They postpone them each and every time, but we cannot postpone our democracy, or we cannot postpone our freedom. So we'll have to attend Jacaranda. The games can wait or it can proceed. Our attendance will not change anything, or as far as the game is concerned. Maybe Godfrey want to respond to that. Then maybe before you respond, I just want to tell you, Mzalendo, on the matters of church, you've misled. Ruto did not have church on his side. Instead, he had the crude church leaders on his side. This man called Ole Sapit is the Bishop of Anglican. Do you want to tell me that the Anglicans, Raila is a member of Anglican? Did Ruto have Raila, who is a member of Anglican, on his side? So he had Ole Sapit, not Anglican church. So you need to draw the difference between a church and specific church dealers.
All right.
Also, before you continue to mislead us more, Mzalendo, before not to mislead, ngoja kidogo, kuna kitu I want to correct you on the issue of handshake. Handshake was not just fighting Ruto. You have to know that by that time we had handshake, kulikuwa na division. The country was in two pieces. Kulikuwa na side ya Raila na kulikuwa na side ya Uhuru. Na country kama haribika. So the main focus ya handshake was to bring peace. Na ili achieve kuleta hiyo peace. Although kuna vitu ambavyo tunataka pia handshake tusaidia, haikutusaidia, but the main focus was to bring peace. Na hiyo ili manage. So usiendelee kumislead sana na mambo ya handshake.
Yeah, Mzalendo, it's your time. I think it was a first submission, so maybe you still have a minute. Then we bring.
Yeah, every time Azimio supporters, they have to interject to bring their kind of correction. I want to reiterate and tell you that we didn't have any war going on. That we were really yearning for a handshake for things to move in government. After all, most of the laws are done in parliament. I keep on telling you that most of the things that the opposition wants can be done in parliament, and that is where you have your elected leaders who can propagate whatever you want. If you want the cost of living to go down, it's not done in the streets, it's done in parliament. If you want to abolish secondary school fees, it can be done in parliament. It's not done in the streets. If you want to reduce the cost of unga, it's done in parliament. It's not done in the streets, and it's done by legislators. And these things cut across all the washimiwa. Whether you are in UDO or Azimio, you know that your people are buying unga at a very high cost. You can table a bill that is bipartisan, and it will definitely sail through. Some of these things are just obvious. It's only that we like whining. Azimio people like whining a lot. So, but we are getting used to whining. About the march, Leo, it just shows you once again that the football match is very, very important. I believe that Gor Mahia, being a part and parcel of this movement, and FC Leopard being part and parcel of this movement, the press statement that should have been out is that we have decided to postpone our match due to the most important rally that Baba will hold in Jacaranda. I think that would have more weight. Or what do you think? That would have more weight.
That will have more weight if these matches are scheduled by teams individually, but a team cannot postpone the match. These matches are controlled by FKF, which is under the watch of one Ababu Namwamba. Do you expect Ababu Namwamba to postpone the match because Raila is having?
No.
Ababu, and he wants to bring confusion. So maybe I know you.
Ababu is a CS. Football
Ababu
is controlled by FKL.
The corrupt FKF that we had that was led by Nick Mwana. So for the matters of football, maybe we can school you a bit later. We can talk the football politics. You are not you are a fan of English Premier League, but for the matters of Kenyan football, we'll tell you how things work. Thank you for that.
Leo. Okay. That I can't let you go with that, because the people who know me, they know me as a coach, a football coach. And for your information, I have played at Nyayo Stadium. I have been a coach. I have been a soccer player, and I have played at league level. And I am a champion for
Which team did you play for at league level?
You go and find out.
No, I know the teams. I can tell you the history of football. I'm a fan of Kenyan football team, and I know all these teams. Every team, they recruit. I know.
I think during my time, you were probably a toddler. You would not have.
I can even talk of the butter and all those. So, okay, I'm giving this opportunity to Andrew.
Thank you.
And before that, allow me just a minute. Just a minute. I'm not paying the bills, but just allow me to show you the kind of government that you want us to give time, so that at least this one will also build on what Andrew is going to say. So that at least this one will also build on what Andrew is going to say. So that at least this one will also build on what Andrew is going to say. Sorry, that video is not having a... The video is not having sound. Let us sort out the sound. And Andrew, proceed. I think I also have some echoes on my side. Andrew, proceed.
Habari zenu nyinyi wote, ni muda sijakuja. But what I can say is that I've listened to all the conversation. Just to answer to what Muzalendo is alluding. As much as those laws and bylaws and the constitution, what states are made in parliament, there have to be a way out of parliament that these things can be more exacted to the executive, not to infringe a common citizen. You're a common citizen, I'm a common citizen. The person at the top doesn't feel the pain of buying unga at that cost. But you feel it. Other people are feeling it. So if you take it as a one man or a single entity responsibility, it is the government responsibility, and it's a basic necessity according to our constitution. And the constitution states clearly, and even I think Leo put it on the screen, and saying where the sovereign power lies is from the people, not the leaders who are elected in the parliament, not the leaders who are in power. It's the people who will decide how they want to be governed. And the sovereign remains with the people. And the fact remains that they are pushing as mere allies to reveal to them how they are what they are going to do in Jacaranda. There's something called in security we call hearsays. We will tell you something that you want to hear, but that's not what we are going to do on the D-Day. And that is what you should know. That's the architect behind the Jacaranda or all the rallies being planned under Azimio. They will tell you this is what we'll do, but when the D-Day comes, they will tell you something different. Check what they say and what they do. They're two different things. It's a technique. And you can't tell your enemy what you are going to do. Your enemy will start planning against you. So for me, wherever Azimio is going and whatever we are doing, we are on the right course, and we are according and in accordance to the Constitution, as far as I'm concerned, as far as I know. If all of us knew and understood what the Constitution says, our country would be very far. The leaders are misleading us, but we Kenyans have matured now. We don't need to fight for us to achieve what we want to achieve. We need to tell them this is what we want on the ground. But if we fight among ourselves, we are not going to achieve that. That's what I can say. Morning.
Thank you so much. Who was talking? Was it Geoffrey? Yeah, Andrew. Thank you so much for your submission and making that very good clarification. Yes, whatever we are doing, there's nothing unconstitutional, and we know, and that's why we are empowered by the so-called constitution. Yes, we know we have leaders, but what sort of leaders do we have? Tumbocrats, useless people who have been bought and all that. We've already discarded them, and that's why we will take the power, and we are going to do whatever we want to do with the power. Number two, there is nothing called opposition in our constitution. So when I hear UDA people telling us about opposition, I thought we did away with that term opposition long time ago. Yeah, and there's nothing like opposition. And even the dream of trying. Andrew, I give you a second, Andrew.
Yeah.
Yes, Andrew.
Just to clarify, that's why I was telling my brother here, if we start putting innuendos in the constitution that is not there, that's the time the common citizen that you are taxing highly on what is never on the constitution, they'll retaliate against you. And in Kenya, I'm telling you, I can tell you by now, call election today. The government sitting on the seat will not hold that power. It will be on a 0.0%, 100% I can tell you. Because whether UDA, whether Azimio, everyone is feeling the pinch to the bottom of it.
Yeah, Andrew, you're right. You know, these guys you see seated here, they are well fed, and they are in the US, in UK, in France, they are all over the world. Wanakula matunda. Yeah, they don't know.
Hata mimi siko Kenya, lakini ile uchungu watu wako home wale wanaisikia.
Yes.
I can tell you 1 year or 1 month before election, I was sending money and you don't get any complaints. Send money now. The complaints that you get that hii pesa haitoshi, you ask yourself, what has turned around the nation that I knew we are on the right track? That's why I said if elections were called today, mark my words, Ruto will not get even 40% today. Because already people have felt the pinch and the lies that they were told on campaign trail. And nothing has happened. Even after 100 days, anything happened? Nothing. So the government of the day is taking us for a ride. And what they were saying all in their campaign before getting into the office, it's hearsay. It's hogwash. Just to get into the position and then they are satisfied. They are billionaires. But you, as a common citizen, where do you stand? How do you hold? Me, I can tell you PK now as we speak, kuna mtu anatembea kutoka mali anaishi anafanya job tao, anatembea kutoka mali anaishi mpaka tao. Juu ya nini? Anataka kusave pesa, jioni akirudi kuna kitu ya kukula kwa meza ya familia. If we look at it on the nitty-gritty of a common mwananchi, ule haizi hata akinunua paket moja ya unga itakulwa mara mbili. Watakula leo, breakfast wa skip wakunywe turungi, lunch pia wa skip, alafu sapa wakule tena hiyo ugali. Ndio waweze survive. And before it wasn't that. You know, huku kule niko, subsidiaries hizi ambazo serikali inasema ati hazisaidii. Even these countries that we are in, yes, they are well off, but they have those subsidiaries. Why are those subsidiaries there? To back up the government, to make sure that it reaches the point that it wants, then it will drop. Without that, how is Kenya going to survive? Saa hii, stima imeongezwa. Mafuta, ndio hiyo. Chakula, mazao ya shamba, ndio hiyo. Mbolea ilikuja, lakini ilipeanwa discriminatively. So, which Kenya do you want to live? If we want a Kenyan of equality, we Kenyans are citizens. Wacha to retaliate. Egypt will retaliate. Do you hear Egypt now complaining? Egypt, there was a mass action. Musa took over, but he didn't perform. He didn't even stay for 3 months. He was ejected. Abdallah Fattah el-Sisi, he's now there. Go see Egypt. How he's done it after that revolution. Not Egypt alone. There are 2 other countries in the Arab world that had the revolution. Go see those countries now. Because when Uhuru was in power, we were at par like this with Morocco. The development that is going on in Morocco is the same development that is going on in Kenya. So, if we as citizens, we are not going to look at it at par, where did Uhuru leave us? With a 13.4 billion economy. Now, why is our rating gone down from 4 to 7? Not 7, 8. Because once the government took over, the depreciation of investor went off. And when Uhuru was there, investors were willing to come and invest home. So we need to look at it in the perspective of our economy was here when Uhuru was there. But now our economy is going down here. Yes, I believe we have loans. But which country does not have loan? Even US itself, they have loan at a tune of 13 billion. So we don't need to compare ourselves with any other nation. We are part of the Africa's revolution agenda. 1, manpower. Kenya is known out here, we are known to be the best. Because when we touch something and focus on it, we achieve goals with it. We can do also that in our country. A good example is the Mwale Medical Technology City. It's in a village. But how many presidents from other countries came to visit and see what is happening? That's the question we need to ask ourselves when you're electing these leaders. Where do we want to be as a country? Are we evolving higher or are we evolving backwards? Because with this government, we are backwards. and worse by creating the cocoon of enmity. A certain tribe just should be there, which is not. That's what I could admit to my side.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I can see.
Oh, okay, go ahead, Leo. Go ahead.
I can see Guru.
I want to support my brother who has just spoken. You see, one thing that Kenyans do not understand, even those who are saying hatupangwingwi, is that a country is as good as the environment that they give to the investors, either local or international. And this is sometimes about perception. If a regime is perceived to be hostile to those who hold capital, whether local or foreign, they will find themselves in a very hard situation while trying to convince these investors to put their money in the economy. Just a few weeks ago, there was a report that the wealthy in Kenya are holding equivalent of 922 billion shillings in terms of dollars, when the country is tottering on the brink in terms of the forex that is required to be maintained in the central bank for purposes of international trade. What then happens is when the country starts having a shortage of dollars, like ours that is kind of dollar denominated, we do international trade mostly using the dollar, we suffer a lot. Because what happens, what follows is that the dollar becomes very expensive. And when the dollar becomes expensive, then it becomes expensive for those who would even want to bring machinery here and start processing of primary products. So you find there is a slowdown in investment, in industrialization, in so many things. My brother who has just spoken is very well conversant with these things. I've heard him. And unfortunately, some of these matters are political. If leadership does not inspire confidence that the few already established investors are running away, how do you expect new ones to come in? And they are running away because of policies. Sometimes they are running away because of the unstable policy environment, like what happened in Naivasha. You tell people to get, people perceive that this region is going to have this kind of activity. They take loans, they start putting up infrastructure, hotels, and all that. Then all of a sudden, because you have done an election and there is a simple political matter, you come and rubbish all that and they turn you actually deprive that location of what was perceived to be big business on the way. So therefore, it's not going to be easy for this government. You can't force some things. Huwezi. Msichana akiwa tasa, hata ukifanya nini, it is not possible. Because the other thing that they may overlook when they chest thump is something called political risk assessment. If the political risk assessment is such that there are two forces in a country like we have right now, and there is always that feeling that things can turn another way, you don't expect investors to come here. Even though if you are here, won't be sitting on the edge. Okay? Is it any wonder that Uganda is now thinking of investing its infrastructure, especially towards the Indian Ocean through Tanzania? No. So therefore, these are serious matters. They are serious matters, and it's unfortunate that right now, he has already pointed out, we were left at number 6 or thereabouts in Africa. Now we have gone down to number 8 or thereabouts. That tells you we are not doing well. We are not doing well, and the factors that surround our not doing well are partly political, because an environment has to be stable for investors to come confidently and put their money in the economy. You cannot be talking of how you are going to put. Then the other thing is favoritism. If you're having an environment where people perceive that some people can be forgiven for tax evasion, others are, you run very hard on them, like is happening in the Raru, and then you find, because you are politically connected, on the other hand, there are those who are being given even silent waivers, I don't know, they continue with the business. I mean, which investor will be confident enough to enter into such market? Let's be serious. Then the issue of power tariffs. Our power tariffs is like they are in the hands of cartels. The cartels have only increased, where somebody of the stature of the president says the power bills have not gone up. Then just a mere citizen brings the bills. Last month he bought tokens of 1,000 these units. Then this month he has bought tokens of 1,000 with these units, which have gone down. Honesty is lacking. Businesses are very sensitive things. Investors are serious people. They cannot operate in an environment where there is no honesty, where the environment is unstable, where favoritism is open, where disputes, even the judicial, those matters that end in judiciary, you even don't know how cases went, or even when they went. So therefore, there is much, much more than just saying hatupangwingwi, we have the power, we are going to do this, we are going to do the other. The things don't work like that. The economy is a very sensitive thing. It is something that requires a lot of balancing, so that you continue with capital investments, and you also continue with taking care of the population. You need to have very good managers to do this. So therefore,
we can't hear you.
So therefore, those who still have doubts, I would invite them to keep track of what is happening to the Kenyan shilling, to keep track of the information coming out about the sentiments of the investors. Just the other day, a so-called mysterious investor, after the prices of Safaricom were patterned boundary, some unknown investor came and mopped up shares. So we don't know whether some of these things are deliberately induced so that they can give a leverage to some political elite, which could be the case. So therefore, when you are operating in such an environment where there is unpredictability and some things seem to be tinkered with to favor or direct matters in a certain way, then very few investors will have confidence in such an economy. Thank you.
Thank you. Stone PK, I wanted to come to you, and I don't know if you are there. It's true, Guru, I have to agree with you. If you see this government, they are hell-bent and they keep on talking about privatization. Then even this Ndidi Nyoro telling you that they've already started shopping for investors, foreign. In fact, I hate hearing the word foreign investors. Don't we have people in Kenya who can invest? They're talking of foreign investors. to come and take the government parastatals. Let me tell you who these foreign investors are. These are not foreign investors. These are foreign identities that are just being used to cover your eyes, so you think there's a certain thing or a certain Carmago or a certain Johannes from America. Yet the person who is going to take these parastatals is a Ruto or a Kimani somewhere. So these are people, when they were campaigning, I think they promised so many people outside there that, no, when you take this government, yeah, so that's what they want to do. They've ensured that these parastatals don't operate, so they're going to sell it at a throwaway price and buy it themselves. So when you hear they tell you they're bringing an investor from Uganda to take over Mumias, it is not an investor. It is Ruto and his family and his friends taking over Mumias, but using Ugandan there just as an image. Like some of you wakikuja hapa badala ya kukuja live kuweka picha zao, wanatuwekea some portraits, unapata ameweka ya mwanamke na yeye ni mwanaume. Sasa hizo ma profile pictures ndio wanaendea huko, wanaita foreigner. But the real owners of this, the real people who are going to take these parastatals are themselves. They want to own so that in future they'll be able to control economy. So just imagine a situation whereby private entities doing a control, iko Kenya Power, iko Posta, iko sijui nini nini. These are guys who can sabotage economy and they will ensure that you vote the way they want. Wataamua wanaongeza bei once, wanapunguza bei once, they'll just be controlling us. So you should not allow the government parastatals. You know, these are some of these things are our national heritage that we should not allow to be given foreigners. We have able Kenyans. Jeshi proved that they can manage these things. When walipopewa the Kenya Meat Commission, they did it. When Nairobi had some issues, some political issues, mkiweka ule jamaa wa kuvaa nyororo na jacket za gold anaitwa Sonko as a governor, that joker. What happened? Uhuru aliona hapana, we can't allow our capital city to go this way. Walileta Badi. Badi proved people that you don't need to be a politician, you don't need to be elected to ufanye kazi. Alifanya kazi. So kama parastatals are watu wameshindwa kumanage, we have government departments. In fact, the discipline forces, they can manage these things comfortably. They can do it. Stone PK, I think it is your turn. Huh?
Yes, kidogo. Two or three things. One, I want to make something very straight here, that whatever Azimio is agitating for, we are doing it within our boundaries, okay? Within our frameworks. No sovereign, no outside country can interfere with what we are saying and what we are doing. So let Ruto people not begin here saying to threaten sijui ati ICC is watching. We can say to hell with ICC. ICC has let us down big. If ICC was live and strong, Ruto would not be the president of this country. You know? So nobody should come telling us here ICC is watching. Is watching what? We are talking of what is within our constitution, if anything. And ICC is not mandated to interfere with the people's constitution. Yeah. If we overthrow the government, that is within our means. It is the people getting back what belongs to the power that belongs to the people. So there's nothing unconstitutional here. All right. And as I said, we could suspend the constitution. That's our mandate again. As a people, we can decide to hell with it. We can decide to say, okay, if Ruto says he has voters, let them come on and we go on. Then we see who is it. All right. So telling us, oh, ICC, sijui America, sijui UK, sijui nini, that is all nonsense. You know, we have countries that have charted their ways without necessarily kulambalamba, kulambalamba hiyo mavitu ya watu wa maitwa Western, sijui nini nini. Hiyo ni upuzi na ni ujinga. All right. The other thing is, you know, we are supposed, people are supposed to know that if you are young and you've never seen how revolutions are done, keep your ignorance. Unajua, kama wewe ni mtu wa 1990, hujaona real things happening, just watch the space, kaa kwa fence uone, ujue what is happening. kutuambia sijui leaders hawako na sisi sijui nini. Just sit and watch. Sit and watch. Uone vile kanatamba. Yeah? Uone vile kanatamba, na vile kataumana, na vile katakuwa, you know, because unless, you know, which most of you DA people are, their brains imetamba na utanda wa yellow, so they are not able to think beyond the very basic, you know. That's why they wanakuambia, oh, Ruto won. They give you lectures of how Ruto won, how strategic Ruto was. What strategy is that? He was strategic to steal, and he stole. That was the strategy used. You know, if he had won squarely, we would be talking of a strategy. If, you know, thieves' best strategy is to come when you are asleep, when you don't expect, and then wanaiba. But when they are caught, what do we do? They are lynched. Siku za mwizi ni 40, za Ruto zimefika. Amemema, amezoea, you know, amezoea. But this is the worst strategy he has ever undertaken. Ya kipuzi kabisa, ya kijinga, because God really made him a fool. You cannot steal the way, even the most stupid person cannot steal the way he stole. Okay, and he thought he would go away with it. You should have looked at Chebukati today in the commission. He looks like a chicken that has been, ilikuwa imenyeshewa ikaresuscitatiwa, because they are dying of guilt. The guilt is catching up with them. They will start, wataanza kupoteza nywele kama mtu ana cancer, because the stress and depression is just too much. The people are cornering them. They will look for holes to hide, caves to hide, they will not get. Because that is it. It will be hot all over. Miti yote itateleza. Na imeanza kuteleza. Oh, ati usijui wanajaribu kusema ati Dabi na Baluya ina. That is nothing. We can have Jacaranda and the soccer can be going on simultaneously. And the crowd you see in Jacaranda is unbelievable. It's not that everybody who goes to Jacaranda is a fan of football. No. Hakuna kitu kama hiyo. In fact, right now the priority is not about soccer. Hakuna mtu hata akili yake iko na soka. Hata huyo jamaa aliandika barua tu ndiye ajiandike, maybe he was trying to steal the limelight. I can assure you that stadium will be empty even if they decide to continue with it. Priority is not soccer anymore. Priority is to get Ruto out of this country, out of this government. Ni mwizi. That is the bottom line. Whether UDA people refuse to say it, it is true. And even Ruto himself knows he's a thief. He knows he stole. You know, that's the good thing. Anajua ni mwizi, ameiba. And that's why he's grabbing as quickly as possible. Earlier when I submitted, I said he's like a monkey that goes into a shamba. It knows because it has some brain, some little brain. Hii shamba ni ya binadamu. Na mwenyewe yuko mahali atakuja. So it grabs as much as possible, inakula, inaweka kwa tumbo, you know, that kind of a thing. So basically, Ruto is trying to grab as much as possible. Hata tukichukua serikali, atakuwa amesha kula zingine ameficha wapi and all that. It will be a long recovery route. But what we want to do is kumtimua as fast as we can. All right? Lastly, where we wanted it to start, imestart na imepita. Whether the other leaders want to join or not, that Mwananchi has no issue about it. In fact, what has happened to our country, Kenya, assuming the revolution doesn't happen, there will be nobody going for elections anymore. Anybody of sound mind will never queue to vote. That I can assure you. Anybody with the sound mind, anybody worth of his salt will never go to vote. Ruto will be going, he will be paying those hustlers of his. I don't know where he will get them from. He will be paying them to go and vote, just like what they are doing. The rally he has on Sunday in Narok, they are issuing threats. All county workers have been told it's compulsory to attend to a rally, a prayer rally. Can you imagine that kind of nonsense? Wote wameambiwa if you are absent, you will lose your job. It was issued by the governor of Narok. That is Ruto's government. Because of what? that stadium was going to have the very, very few people, maybe only the UDA supporters, and not all of them, because already UDA supporters are suffering. So it was going to be one of the biggest embarrassment that Ruto was going to experience in Narok. What does he do? He gives a directive, presidential directive via the county governor, that all county workers must. And then stupidly, they issue this statement in the glaring of the television and national television. Can you imagine how stupid this government has been made to look? Akili imepumbazwa na utanda wa manjano. Back to you, Leah.
Thank you. That's the truth of the matter. That is the situation that we currently have. And I can see even